that was so cool. So that's the first time I've done that on this show. So hello, everyone. My name is Linda Murray Buller. They call me the Business Plug. And you just tuned in to the Business Plugs Mixer. Before I introduce you to my very special guest, I want to tell you about a couple of things I have coming up. So tomorrow, if you are wanting to learn how to write a business plan, then please get with me, because tomorrow I will be teaching business owners how to create their own business plans. And then secondly to that, if you are wanting to be if you are wanting to learn how to do business well, I forgot where I was going with that. If you are wanting to learn how to do business well, on October the 2nd, I am actually starting the next 12-week course. So it's a 90 days. You give me 90 days, one night a week, 3 hours a night. We walk through your business. We comb through business, and I give you an overview of not just business, but structure and marketing and behind the scenes operations and everything. Right now, I'm going to let my guest introduce herself while I take care of a matter. So, hey, Dani.
Hello. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. Hello, everybody. My name is Dani Faust. I am a mindset and manifestation coach. I also do executive and entrepreneurial coaching for people who feel overwhelmed, stuck, and unfulfilled. So I help them get unstuck, move forward in their business through a strong mindset and principles that allow them to kind of blend their spiritual world and their business worlds together in a meaningful way. I don't know where Linda went.
I'm right here.
Oh, she's back. Okay.
I was giving you space to do your whole prompt while I put my camera on. It was saying time to go live. But yeah, so I thank you for joining us this evening. So we're going to be talking about some mindset things, because everything begins with the way you think. Like, believe it or not, if you are a business owner and if you're struggling right now, now's the time to check out your thought patterns. Now's the time to do a retrospective review of how you are thinking, because thinking has a lot to do with everything. And so if you have comments or questions, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and put your comments in the comment section. You have to, in order for us to see your name, you have to give StreamYard permission to show us your name. So you'll see the link. If you go into the description of this video, you'll see the link where StreamYard is saying, I'm live. And if you want to go live, you have to give, if you want me to see your name, us to see your name, then you have to give them permission to use your name. Once you do that, we can see your comments. You don't have to do it though. If you comment, we can see them, but we can't tell who sent it or who said it. So that's the thing about StreamYard. So yeah, so let's dive right in. So the last time we talked, you were a guest in my group, my Facebook group, Building Your Own Six-Figure Business. And you were telling the people in the group about how to create strategies to help them in order to kind of shift their way of thinking, about mind processes. So let's talk some more about that, about how important is it that you have the right mindset, be it if you're going back to school or starting a business or trying to get a new job or anything you do. How important is it to have the right mindset?
So mindset is everything. If we're going to go with the Pareto principle of 80-20 rule, mindset is 80, everything else is 20. So your mindset, depending on the work you look into when you're reading up on mindset, you'll find a few different types. But I follow the work of Carol Dweck, who talks about a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And a growth mindset is someone who, if there's a setback, if there's a perceived failure, or if something goes wrong in business or going back to school, whatever their goal is, they don't stop. They think, oh man, that didn't work out how I wanted it to, but there's got to be another way. Let me try it this way. Let me go check out this. Let me ask different questions, do different things. They'll keep going with the growth mindset. They feel expansive and like there's still opportunity. A fixed mindset is where you have a setback and then you just like, this is it. that's that, there's nowhere to go from here. I failed. Everything is over. Let me just go find a whole new life path now. I cannot do that thing I was trying to do. So fixed mindset, it's very limited, and you just put yourself in a box and you stay there. Growth, when it's expansive and open. So I want to encourage everyone who is listening to kind of shift their ways of thinking to a more expansive, what are the options? How can I move around this challenge kind of growth mindset?
Absolutely. And kind of sometimes you don't really know whether you have a fixed mindset or whether you have an expansive mindset, because we're so in the bushes or in the weeds of doing what we do in life that we don't consider that, is my mindset what's holding me back? Like, is it the way I think? Is it the way I subscribe to the law of attraction, right? Yes. And I believe when you tell yourself something long enough, like the universe shifts to make what you say true. So if you have a woe is me type of attitude, you tend to bring on woe is me situations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our subconscious mind is very powerful. And there's something called confirmation bias. That is, if your brain basically wants you to be right, whether you're right or not. So your brain will find proof that what you say to it is correct, even if you're wrong. So if you're saying, I suck at business, your brain is going to go find other proof from your past of times where you failed or, got in trouble or didn't make the money you wanted as a reminder that you suck, to make you right. So if that works, then it also works on the other side. If you're saying, I'm dope at business, I'm going to be a success no matter what, your brain is going to be like, all right, let's go find some proof of that. And it'll bring up all kinds of past wins, good grades you got in school, like all positive memories to remind yourself of who you really are. So it's very important to affirm yourself and tell yourself exactly what you want to be true for you, even if it's not yet.
Exactly.
The problem with affirmations, I think, is that sometimes people don't believe them. So if people are looking in the mirror and saying, I'm a billionaire, it's like, no, you're not a billionaire. And your subconscious knows that. So I always suggest to people to say things that they can believe right now. So it's like, I can be a millionaire or billionaire. I can XYZ. Also, I tell people to say, I'm ready for. So I'm ready for my business to earn this much. I'm ready for living in a house by the beach, whatever your goals are, it doesn't matter. The point is you're saying, I'm ready for it. And your subconscious won't negate it because it's just a true statement. I am ready for this.
You are ready. Absolutely. And that's the thing. And then, once you have made the mind change, because everything begins with a thought. So once you have assigned your thinking, then you have to assign your actions to support your thinking. So it's not just, I'm going to think, and I think that's where a lot of vision boards fail, or people that have failure in envisioning their vision boards. And say, well, I created that vision board and then none of that come true. And then you ask, well, what did you do? What type of tactics did you put in place to support what you put on the board? Because when I'm teaching vision boards, I tell them, it's not magical, but it is. But it's not but it's not all in all by itself, because you have to do the actual activities to get it set where you want it to go, right? So a lot of times people who believe in the law of attraction they think it's supposed to happen mystically. Like if I think about it, if I get in the mirror and say, I'm a billionaire, then voila, tomorrow I wake up and woo, I'm a billionaire. It would be great if it worked like that. Let me just say that. It would be absolutely perfect with me. However, my experience has been that's not how it works.
No, yeah. I mean, so there is power in the tongue, right? There is power in the spoken word, the written word. Our mindset, right? It's attitudes, it's beliefs, it's thoughts. Beliefs are really thoughts that have just been cemented by thinking them over and over and over. And those lead to behaviors. So whatever your mindset is, that's going to impact the actions that you're taking. So if you have a vision board, that's beautiful. That is a great start, great first step. Have the image up there so that you can really feel into it, feel into what that desire fulfilled actually will feel like, embody it. And then go take some action, because you can't just be like, oh, I want to live in that beach house. Well, sis, you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to get some clients. Like, what's going to have to happen? So I like to take people really, like, I love the energy part of it. I love the woo-woo mystical part of it, because we are working with God, source, spirit, the universe, whatever you believe in. We are working to co-create our realities. However, the reality is movement needs to happen on our end. We have to show good faith in that way and not just say, I'm waiting for my money to show up.
Absolutely.
Magic happens, but we have to take action. There is magic.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I see posted a lot is I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on God.
God's waiting on you.
God to tell me to start a business. I'm waiting on God to tell me to go back to school. I'm waiting on God to tell me to get that job. I'm waiting on God to get to my next level, because I'm waiting on God. But a lot of times while we're waiting on God, we haven't done anything with the tools he's already assigned to us.
I say God's waiting on you. Whenever I see those posts, I comment, because I'm that person. I'm like, no, God's waiting on you, sis. He wants to see that you really care about this, so that he can give you what the next step is. Like, exactly. You got to play ball. You can't just sit like, what time God's showing up? No.
He's gonna be here shortly.
Right? It's like, come on, give a little good faith.
Absolutely, because in that same Bible that they read that they should wait on the Lord, it also says faith without works is dead.
Good. Yes.
So it's not just like people think, they take the whole wait on the Lord and be of good courage. They go down there. And okay, I get that. But at the end of the day, we have a responsibility, because every place that he mentions what he will give to us, he's also assigned us a task. Like, even it says when we talk about turn to the Lord and the devil will flee and all those things, we still have to do something. We always have to do something. And so it's not just sitting there and just idly waiting. While you're waiting, you should be doing something. What are you doing to help make this thing happen? Because, we are the hands and feet of our creators. And so we're the hand and feet of the creator. And so we have to use our hands and feet to get the movement. To get the movement, we have to sign up for that class, or we have to sign up for that job. We have to fill out the application, or we have to go and investigate how to open that business. Like, it doesn't happen magically. You actually have to put in the effort to say, this is what I want, and so I'm working toward it.
Absolutely. If you tell me, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, I'm going to hold you to it, right? Yeah, I'm going to expect it of you. But if you're saying, I'm going to wait and see if X, Y, Z should happen for me, no one's going to trust you. No one's going to want to move forward with you, support you in your endeavors. So it's like, you have to take steps. I always tell people, get the goals and break them down into action steps. You don't have to know every single part of the puzzle. I don't remember who said it. It's just the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that single step.
Yeah, absolutely.
So take that one step and have the faith in God, in source, creator, that the next step will be opened up to you. But you have to take that step. So whatever goals you guys have, if you're trying to start a business or you just started one and you're like, what do I even do next? Take the next step that you know how to do, break things down that you do know, all the action steps you do currently know, and take one. And just know that more will be open to you. Absolutely. If you are watching this, you got the business plug in your pocket. You can call her, she'll hook you up, tell you what to do next.
No one watching this should be worried about how do I start this business, because I have a whole 12-week steps happening on August the 2nd. You can sign up, and it's just $197. So it's not like millions of dollars or thousands of dollars that you have to pay. If you were to buy this class by itself, it's like $500. But for this session, because we're in COVID, and I really want to teach people how to open their businesses well. Yes. Because anybody can go get a license and open a business, but the numbers don't lie. And the numbers say that 30% of people who start their businesses without any training end up closing in the first 18 months. Like, I don't want that to happen no more. It costs a lot of money to start a business. You got cars, websites, and time, and all this thing. None of that is free. And so I want to teach people how to do it, because it also says 50 to 90% of the ones who make it past the 18 months, 50 to 90% of those people close in 3 to 5 years. That's a lot of money, and that's a
lot.
lot of businesses. So the thing about it, like whether you're going to school or whether you want to go get to a higher job, be more marketable, whatever that thing is, whatever it is, you have to apply yourself. Yes. Hey, Adrian. Hi, Dad. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, the next step is a doozy. It is. It gets it all started.
Break it down. If you don't know, if the next step feels like a doozy, break that doozy into like 4 mini doozies. And just take a little mini doozy step. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the other side of that doozy is your success.
Absolutely.
Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It all starts with that first. You got to do that first thing. And a lot of times, I love Mel Robbins. I've been using her principles about the 5 seconds. Take 5 seconds, and count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just go and do it, and then do it for 5 minutes. Like she said, if you do it for 5 minutes, you're gonna finish that thing, whatever that thing is. You're gonna finish it. The hardest part for most of us is simply just getting started. It's just
that inertia.
That first step, that first
push. And that's where you need a strong mindset to help keep you going. If you're in a space of, oh man, it feels too hard to get up early and go make sales calls or whatever it is, if that, that's the next step, you're going to talk yourself down. You're going to talk yourself into a more fixed and rigid mindset. But if you're like, all right, I just have to make 2 calls. You're going to do more than 2. You're definitely going to do more than 2.
Because if you do that first one, you're gonna be ignited. Like that first one's gonna get you lit, and then after that, you're gonna be like, I'm on fire for this. I'm gonna get. Look, I've done those 2. I'm gonna do 2 more, and do 2 more, and do 2 more. And next thing you know, you've knocked down your list. Make a list. Like I was telling you, in that she talks about the things that you complain about. Make a list of the things you complain about, because what happens is you have permanent problems and you have temporary problems. And it's very good for us to sit back and assess which ones we're dealing with. Because the ones that are permanent, like there's nothing you can do about them. Like they're going to happen as they are. So you can't adjust them. So you have to adjust yourself. Absolutely. So how do I adjust myself for these permanent problems? What do I need to learn? What else do I need to do? Because these are permanent problems that I have to adjust me. But if they're temporary problems, then you make steps of, okay, these are temporary. So what do I need to do in the meantime? And you make steps of how you're going to get rid of the temporary problems. It's great to assess which ones you have.
Absolutely. And when you have that list, you have to remember it's okay for you to just hands off and let go, release, just surrender to those permanent problems, because there's no value in wasting your energy cycles, spinning your wheels about things that you have no power to change.
Exactly.
So it makes most sense for you to focus on those temporary problems, break them down into action steps, wrap your head around it, and let go of the others. I always tell people, if you're trying to climb a ladder, you're holding on tight to these problems, to this current circumstance, you can't get up the ladder. You literally have to let go so you can climb.
Absolutely.
So let go so you can get up to the next level, and you'll notice some of those problems might fall away. You might recognize a solution. Once you're up at the higher level of the ladder, you can look down and be like, oh, I see the fix for that problem down there. Oh, there's another fix for that problem, but you wouldn't have gotten it unless you let go so you could climb.
Absolutely. And I like that because, it's bad things happen to good people. Okay.
Absolutely.
Bad things happen to good people. We have people that we love with all our being who pass on, some unexpectedly. Like there are things in life that we go through those are permanent problems. Like there's nothing we can do to bring them back. Yeah. Like there's nothing we can do if we got let go of a job. There's nothing we can do if we didn't finish high school or we didn't do something that we could have done, but we can't change any of the past, but we can definitely grab the pen and change the future.
Absolutely.
And so looking, retrospectively looking back and saying, okay, that was then. And most of us were operating off of the knowledge we had at the time. So, forgiving yourself, saying, I made these mistakes. I did this thing. That's not who I am today. Because when I look back at how my journey started, I know I don't live there anymore. I don't live there anymore. So anybody that knocks on that door, good luck with who answers.
I'm over here now.
Because that's not my address anymore, right? So you have to make a conscious commitment to understand that your future, that pen to your future, is in your hands. Like you get to write it, regardless of who your parents were, what things happened to you in life, how things didn't play fair, whatever, whomever, however. All of those things are your past, and they are what they are. They're written in concrete, they can't be moved. However, starting with today, you can assign yourself to be actively present in your future, beginning with your mindset.
Absolutely. I always tell people to write out their desired vision. I'm going to quickly tell them that little activity.
Absolutely, please do.
So this is something that's great for getting clear on what your goals are, why you want them, and a little bit deeper into looking at things so that you know what to really focus on and what you don't need to. So what I suggest to people is to have a page with 4 or 5 columns. And in the first column, you're writing down what your goals are. And this, you can break it down by areas of your life. You can do it just for business. There's no rules. Whatever you choose is what's right. So the first column, you write down what it is that you want. The next column, for each item you wrote down, you now are writing why do I want them? And this is tricky because we're kind of told different things of what we should want and what we should want to do with ourselves and how our business should look. What I want you to do is like plug your ears to the advice and think from your heart, your soul, your true vision for your future, for your business, for your life, and go with those whys. Because if it's for anyone else, you're not really fully invested. You're not going to make the moves on those rougher mindset days. You're not going to make the moves forward because it's not truly a passion for you. So what do I want? Why do I want it? The next part that kind of deals with the law of attraction that Linda mentioned, how does it feel when I've reached that goal? So just get yourself in the future right now and just think, okay, when I have, my first $100,000 month, what's that going to feel like? I'm going to feel proud, excited. I'm going to feel rich. I'm going to feel successful, whatever the things are for you. Write that down, and kind of as you're writing it, don't just let it be like a vision board over there that you just look at like, oh, that might be nice. I want you to really embody the feeling as you're writing them down. So what do I want? Why do I want them? How does it feel? There's 2 more columns, and you can do in whichever order. The next column would be who wins from me having this goal. And this is where you kind of think more expansively. With the why, I want it to be very you-centric. Like, why do I want this thing? Now, who wins is how does this impact everyone else? So if my business is bringing in the money I want, who wins? I win because I feel successful. My family wins because now my kids can play the sports they want to play. My community wins because now I can give back in a better way. My partner wins because now I'm not grumpy because we broke. Everything, your whole community world can be impacted by you reaching your goals. So it might just be about you in the beginning, but it's always going to have a ripple effect. This is energy. Everything's energy. So that's the 4th column. And the last one is who do I have to be to achieve these? And that's what helps you get into that place. When Linda said to rewrite that new version of you from here into your future, that who do I have to be column is the one that really helps get you there, because you'll think of the attributes you need to embody in order to be the version of yourself who achieves these goals. If you can set a goal, you can achieve it, period.
Absolutely. I love that. And who do you have to be? And that's understanding that old keys don't open new doors.
There it is.
So that's some shedding that you have to undergo yourself in order to get to where you need to be. So what that looks like is you have to take off some stuff, because what I learned, I was mentored by Steve Harvey. And so he tells this story about his mom. And when he was a young boy, he wanted a car. And he had saved up for this car. And he was like, Mom, I'm getting a new car. And she would refer him to the car that was sitting in front of their home that was sitting on bricks. And so every time he would come in and say, Mom, I've saved some more money, I'm getting me a new car, she would refer to, well, your other car's out there sitting on bricks. And so, it got to where it was frustrating him. He's like, why does she keep bringing that up? I'm telling her I'm saving money. I'm going to get this special car, but she keeps referring me to the car that's sitting out in front of the house on bricks. And then his mother's a Sunday school teacher at the time. And so then he got it. You have to make room for what you want to happen. So you have to prepare yourself. And so what his mom was saying is, before you can bring another car, you need to deal with the car that you have out there sitting on bricks, because you have no place to put your new car. And so he understood that, okay, now I have to deal with this to make room for my new car. I got what she was saying. And he was saying, in life, when we have things we want to do, have we made room? Have we made room to be this new person? Because our old selves, we can't, each level requires a different you. Absolutely. Like, I've had to learn that, because I thought, I just want to be me. Most people, I just want to be me. They're going to have to accept me as I am. My middle son, Isaac, will tell you, when he was going into corporate, I told him he had to cut his hair. Isaac's ponytail, he wore braids sometimes with beads on it. And they were down here. They were long, pretty, dark chocolate braids, and they were beautiful, but he was getting ready to go to corporate. And I'm like, well, baby, you're going to have to cut your hair. You're going to do something different with your hair, because at that time, they weren't allowing you to wear braids with beads on it in corporate. Yeah. And he was like, well, Mom, people need to be able to accept me for who I am. I'm like, but you don't own anything, darling. You own nothing. And so in order for him to get in corporate and to learn and make a decent salary and to do the things he wanted to do in his life, he had to chop that hair off. And he had grew that hair all through high school. Wow. His teacher, one of his teachers used to tell me, I sent Isaac in the back, and I know he thinks that I was being offensive to him. He said, but when he wears his hair picked out, nobody can see around his hair. So I sent him in the back. So if he wants to wear his hair out, then it's not a problem. But you have to make room for those things that you want to have in your life. You have to know and be crystal clear on what's acceptable and what's not.
Absolutely. And making room is going to look different for each of your goals. You can make room for your financial success by getting your bank accounts in order. Do you have a business card, a business bank account? Do you have a way for people to pay you? Getting organized is one way to make room. Absolutely. Getting that car off of the bricks in the driveway is the way to make room for this other car. Cleaning out your purse is the way to make room for the financial success and financial order and ease that you're looking for. Clearing out the junk drawers of your life helps you be able to ascend and go in the direction that you're needing to go. Some of that is healing. Some of that is personal healing, because we are wounded and traumatized in many different subtle and not subtle ways when we were children. And we kind of get stuck there mentally, emotionally. And then we see the fruits of that as adults when we realize, like, why can't I have a stable career? Or why can't my relationships pan out the way I want? Or why can't I get healthy as I want? We notice these patterns in our life as adults, which means we have to go back into the past and clear out that junk drawer. I call it all that good enough stuff. Things that have knocked our confidence and made us feel away. And that has us now dealing with confidence issues in our business ascension or our career path. That imposter syndrome, which I don't like that term. I get it, but I just feel like calling it a syndrome makes it like I have a sickness. Like, no, this is not a sickness. I don't have to get over it. I'm just going to heal myself from all my old stuff so I can move forward.
Absolutely. Reframing how we're thinking and reframing, because some of us are still operating on trauma that happened to us between the ages of 6 and 10, according to statistics, according to the reports. And so, for me, it was 9 when I lost my mom at age 9. And in life, dealing with her absence and dealing with the situations that were caused by her absence took me a long time to actually sit down and deal with that. Like, talking to a therapist, I felt like it was my job to take care of my family. And I'm the youngest, but I just felt like that was my role in life. I looked like her. And so I took on her position. Like, you have PSTD that you've been dealing with all these years, and you think you're going crazy, because I thought I was going crazy. And the therapist was like, no, dear, you had 5 people that died in a year. And so you are fine. It's just that you're going through some things. But then also unpeeling why I felt like I had to be the rescuer for my siblings. I had to be the number everybody called. Like you teach people how to treat you, and then you wonder why they treat you that way.
Yeah,
It's because you've taught them.
Absolutely. People will go up to the boundary you set and then keep trying to hop over that fence when you start pushing that boundary back. But it is our responsibility to set these boundaries for ourselves and for others. We set boundaries for ourselves. Like, I'm going to work from 9 a.m. to 11, and then I'll take a break. That's a boundary we set for ourselves that helps us in business. But we set boundaries for other people as well. And when those things change, when we go to our next level, our next version of ourselves, as we improve our mindset, heal our own stuff, those boundaries are going to start pushing on people in ways they might not like. Like, what do you mean you can't hang out all day because you're working on your business? Who do you think you are? And you're going to have to deal with that. But the new level of you will be ready for it.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, because T.D. Jakes talks about going into, he fashions it to, you go to your favorite restaurant, you offer coffee, and the waitress says, let me know when you've had enough. And so she's pouring. And now the coffee is all around the saucer. Then it's all on the table. Then it's running down, and you haven't said enough yet. And you're wondering, why is this lady not stopping? You haven't told the people who are draining you, you've had enough. And Lisa Nichols talks about how we have taught people how to treat us, but in our doing so, we have sometimes told them that our dreams and visions and the things that we want for us don't count. And what she told us to do is you need to go back and beg their pardon and say, I'm sorry, I made you feel like I don't count. It's not anything you did. I gave you permission to treat me poorly, and I made you feel like I don't count. So I apologize for that, because my dreams, my visions, the things that I want for myself, those count just as well as yours. I've been busy helping you build your Paris, and then I'm over here feeling like, there's a void, that something's missing, and the thing that's missing is me.
Absolutely. You can renegotiate your unspoken contracts whenever. I could renegotiate a contract with my husband today, and then tomorrow change my mind and renegotiate again. I want you to know your life is eternally editable, and you get to write what it is. You get to choose, and then you can choose again and choose again. So I always tell people that, right? I always tell people that you can renegotiate contracts whenever you're ready. And it could be a temporary negotiation. Like, hey, you seem to think that only what you need matters, but here's what I need, and this is how I'm going to move forward. Okay. So you good? No? Okay, bye. Good? Yes? Okay, good. Let's keep moving. But
absolutely. But that's the thing. I think we're scared that it's going to separate us from people that we want to keep in our lives. I had a person that was going through a very rough time with a partner, and she was like, I'm scared of being by myself. I'm afraid that he's going to leave me. And she said, I don't know how I'll survive. And in their relationship, she was paying all the bills. She was buying all the support. She was doing all the doing, and he was doing literally nothing. And so bringing to mind for her is, dear, financially, you've been carrying the whole load this whole time. I mean, helping her to realize that, I would never tell somebody you should leave that person, but just helping her to see her part in what she was doing, helping her to see that you have been taking care of you this whole relationship. Like, you have been in charge, doing the things that need to be done by yourself, literally. Yeah. And so just sometimes we're in life is so noisy that we don't get to actually move away from the noise so we can think, think through what's actually happening to us. And a lot of times the things we think that are happening to us are actually happening for us, but we don't get the memo. And so we be victimized by that.
It's true. So it's good that she had you as a friend. And for those of you who don't have friends like you, if you have a coach, a therapist, a family member that you can talk to, it's good to have that outside objective input, because you're in the weeds, you're living your life, you're just kind of suffocated with what all the isness, right? Versus what could be. And so you don't really see yourself clearly. It's hard to be objective about things that deal with you.
Absolutely.
So in that noise, I always tell people they need to find a way to shut the heck up, basically. So whether
Get
that's
still for a minute.
yes, be still. Whether it's meditation, I just push meditation on everybody. I try to get everybody to meditate because it is so powerful to just be still, be quiet, listen to your God voice, know what your intuition really feels, know what you really want. If you're not quiet enough to sit down and actually think through, what do I really want? What are my desires in this situation? Nothing will satisfy you. You'll never be fulfilled. You'll never feel happy. You'll always be in that place of feeling like, this is it. There's got to be more than this. I'm kind of stuck. I don't know. Those energies, you can release those so quickly if you just sit down and say, okay, what do I want? Whatever I want is what I deserve. And then just write a list of what you want, how you want to be treated, how you want your business to look, what you want your health to be like, how your family situation should be. Every aspect of your life, you have to really get clear on what you want. And you're not going to get clear if you're all in chaos mode and reacting to this and reacting to that. And that's life. Lives are noisy, they're chaotic, they're crazy. Something's always happening, and it's normal. But I noticed that when I don't take my time to meditate, I'm in react mode. I feel less like myself. I feel just out of sorts, and I'm just like behind the 8 ball. If you take the time to be quiet, prayer, stillness, meditation, journaling, even just taking a walk in nature and just breathing, doing breath work, something so that you can be still and tune into what you really want.
Exactly. And that takes intentionality, right?
Absolutely.
Because nobody has time. I mean, the
fact I got time for that.
Yeah, nobody has time. And so you have to make time for your mental health. You have to make time. We go to the doctor for every part of our bodies except our brain, like the way we think and our mental health. We just don't go because we have some stigma that if I'm having a mental battle here, that makes me less than, or that makes me crazy, or that makes me whatever. But we will go to the doctor for every other part of our bodies, and we fail to look at our mental health. And everything starts with the thought.
Here it is.
And so circling it right back around, if you can't think clearly, if you're not operating in your own belief system, if you're not thinking that you're worth it, that you're so caught up building everybody's house but yours, it's turmoil and it's an unrestlessness that makes life miserable. And then we're wondering, okay, what's the problem? Something's not right. Something's not off. Again, the person that's missing is you. You're missing in your own life because you're busy.
Is a good word for that. Because you really, if you're not able to get present to know what you're feeling, it truly is just turmoil. You can't even put words to it.
Yeah. And that's why I said that storm was going to subside, because somebody needs to hear this.
Yes, we're having thunderstorms. I'm in South Florida, y'all, and we're having thunderstorms. The sun is bright now. Right before we got on this live, we had a brownout, there was thunder, lightning. I was like, ooh, Linda, I don't know. She was like, don't worry.
Don't worry. I know a man.
And you were right. The sun is shining. I'm just like, okay, hey, turned it around.
Hey, he makes it happen for me. He makes, I told you, I'm a mountain mover. He makes it happen for me. I'm like, what storm? What? No.
Yes.
Somebody needs to be freed, and we're going to free them today. Today, somebody needs to get their mind right so that they can live right. But I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you watch this in the replay, please put #replay so that I know that you saw it. But you can send either one of us an email, a message right here on the broadcast or in the inboxes. So I will go back and tag Dani in these posts on LinkedIn and on Facebook so that you all have access to her as well. But you need to think about your limiting belief. What is really going on? What is really holding you back from what you feel like you should be doing more? You should have more. You should be more. And so what is it really that's holding you back? And a lot of times we look externally, like it's because if he does this or she does that, then I can do X. Or we're waiting on life to be perfect, and
that's never going to happen.
That's never going to happen. But
Yeah.
life will never be perfect. So you have to create the life that you want to live out here in these life streets, in these adulting streets. You have to create that. And so, Danny, if you were going to leave them with a parting word, can you tell them what you want them to know? And I'll come back out so you can do that.
Oof. I guess I would leave you with just to encourage you to get still, think about what you want, and like Linda mentioned, the limiting beliefs, we can only manifest to the point that we have self-belief. So I want to encourage you to do what you need to do to get your confidence together, get your mindset in a space of growth versus being fixed. And that can be working with a coach, that could be doing personal development on your own, working with a pastor or a therapist. But either way, I want you to do what it takes for you to get to a space where you are up leveling. And it's going to start with you being still so you know what that next step of action is for you. So I just want to encourage you on that because you're worth it. If you have a desire to have a better life, a more fulfilled life, a business that's thriving, whatever it is, there's no wrong in your desires, right? Whatever it is, if you have that little mustard seed of hope in there, you can fulfill that goal. You absolutely can. So it just starts with you getting really clear on what it is and moving forward in faith. So I want to encourage you to do whatever it takes for you to take that next step.
I think that is wonderful. I think that is wonderful and great advice. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. And this evening, I am plugging you into about mindset, about how important your mindset with Coach Dani here. And I encourage you to reach out. I encourage you to look for your way to take the pen to your life and start writing. You get to write the last chapters. Like you get to do it regardless of where you came from, who you came from, how you came to be. None of that matters going forward because even in those lessons, you're going to learn that your tests become your testimony. And the thing that broke you is going to be the very same thing that saves you. So you guys have a great evening, and I will see you next week, 7:00 p.m. on the Business Plugs Mixer. Good night, all.
Good night. Thank you.